Hello, human peoples. You're listening to the podcast network of Gamefully Unemployed. To support us and gain access to great exclusive podcasts like Fox Mulder is a Maniac, Tom and Jeff Watch Batman, Star Trek The Next Futurama, and our latest show, Spiel Boys, head over to patreon.com/gamefullyunemployed. We do game streaming, movie nights with our patrons every Friday night, and you can even commission your own podcast about anything you want. Literally anything, within reason, and we have to do it. You are quite frankly out of excuses not to go visit patreon.com/gamefullyunemployed. That's patreon.com/GAMEFULLY unemployed, which is spelled like it sounds. Pizza! Robots and bastards! Everyone! Robots and bastards!
Oh, we're back.
We are back. We are back.
We're back with All Bards Are Bastards.
Mm-hmm. Everyone.
Fuck. Every single one. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. No exceptions.
It's a show about cops rocking.
It really is. In a lot of ways, it really is, and it's so sad. I feel like we're halfway through already.
At least. I think there's only... fuck, I can never remember.
There's 6 episodes, so this is the halfway point.
No, there's more than 6.
Sorry, 6 episodes of this.
Oh.
The show we are currently inside.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So welcome to All Bards Are Bastards. I feel like I've said that. My name is David Bell.
My name isn't. My name is Tom Ryman.
And big thank you to Matt Smith. Matt Smith, our producer.
The very same.
Morbius's
Matt Smith.
Yeah.
Too much skull for his face, Matt Smith.
Yep. I'm sure our Matt Smith loves this. Loves the fact that this motherfucker's out there with his name.
Yeah.
So we're watching Cop Rock.
Yeah.
That's really it. If people don't know what Cop Rock is, first of all, there's 2 more episodes of this, so go back and listen.
Yeah.
Cop Rock is a show from what, the 90s?
1990 to be exact.
Yeah, that checks out.
Mm-hmm.
It is definitely 1990, and it's cops. It's a police procedural, but they sing. That is also 5 times an episode.
Yeah, it's also kind of like a popular jazz musical, I guess. Not jazz. I don't know. I've been fumbling around the previous 2 episodes to describe the exact musical style because it's
not good.
It's so specific to the early 90s.
I would call it like it's like white person jazz.
Yeah,
it's got that like
it's like white R&B, I guess. Yeah, or like
mind you, it's not exclusively sung by white people.
No, not at all.
But it's still all white.
Yeah,
it might not even be written by whiite people.
I think it's written by Randy Newman, isn't it? It's all written.
Some of it.
I thought it was all written by Randy Newman. Yeah, it's that real like top 40. I don't know. If you were a kid or alive in like 1989 to 1991, you heard this style of music just about everywhere.
It's like Huey Lewis in the News almost. Where
a little bit, but more like shopping mall.
Yes. Yeah, Huey Lewis in the News is good.
Yes.
Mind you.
Yes.
But this is like the Kmart version of Huey Lewis in the News.
Yeah.
Where it's like, like a lot of slap bass, saxophone, and guitar. And white people. I can't stress that enough.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
This is, again, it's just the Cop Rock in general, from top to bottom.
It's like
very white.
It's like some executives panicked when hip-hop started to take off. They're like, what if we made a less dangerous version of hip-hop?
Yeah,
and this is kind of what it is? I don't know.
It's like hip-hop that would appear on, like, Sesame Street or something like that.
And it's like the Simpsons Sing the Blues, that album.
Yeah. So if that helps you guys know the style, if you have access to Cop Rock, you can get the DVD, the whole box set, and let me tell you, it's worth it. Mm-hmm. Because as we've already talked about in previous episodes, the show as a police procedural is good.
This is a good
Wire.
show. Yeah, basically.
It's The Wire.
Like it really does have a lot in common with The Wire. I texted you this.
It has a Bubbles. There's a Bubbles in this.
Yeah.
Which is the baby selling lady.
Yeah. It's a lot of similar characters, too. The Captain Hollander is basically Lance Reddick.
Yeah.
What was I gonna say? Oh yeah. This show, I texted you yesterday, Dave, while I was watching the episodes that we were going to record for today. Weirdly, this sounds impossible, but as we're watching Cop Rock, I constantly forget it's a musical.
Yeah.
Because I'm so engaged in the story, which just makes it all the more insane when the musical numbers start.
Yeah. Imagine The Wire if they sing every now and then.
Yeah, every now and then they sing.
It's 5 songs an episode. And we're dealing with episodes 5 and 6, which is the Cocaine Mutiny and Oil of Olay.
They have a lot of fun with these episode titles.
They really do. We compared them to like Batman animated series titles.
Basically, yeah.
Yeah. And I want to say like overall critique for episode 1 is they got lazy with the songs, in my opinion, in this one.
They did,
and
yeah.
that makes it even more surprising because the first half of this episode, there's one song. And then when the song, and then they like, the second half is just song heavy. And it is really shocking because you forget again. You get through 20 minutes of no songs, and you're like, yeah, I'm just watching a cop show. Oh, right.
Oh, right.
Fuck.
It's Cop Rock.
It's Cop Rock.
Yeah.
So, do we remember what has happened so far? There was that dirty cop who shot a man in custody. We're dealing with his plot line, which is that he's
there's like
awaiting trial, right?
Yeah, there's like 6 or 7 different plot lines. We don't need to recap everything because people can listen to the first 2 episodes.
Yeah, that's true. So let's go through episode 1, guest starring Gina Gershon.
Yes.
Surprisingly not playing the ex of a criminal, which is what the role she's born to play.
Which is 90% of the roles she plays.
Yeah. Well, it starts with a bunch of honkies buying drugs, and there's a song there which we'll talk about later,
in downtown LA, like in the park in the park that's like right in front of City Hall.
Yeah, and they're all buying cocaine there, and the idea is that they do this mass arrest of all these like 80s suits buying cocaine. And my first thought was like, that never happened. They wouldn't do that. They're gonna mass arrest all these fancy honkies. Mm-hmm. But so they sing a song there, and then we get into the Gina Gershon of it all, which is like it's hard like. Because of the way these episodes are designed, it doesn't feel like there's an A and B plot at any point.
No, there's a couple of, like I said, there's about 6 or 7 storylines. It's the big ensemble cast that are ongoing. Yeah. So each episode will sort of progress those storylines a little bit, and then there might be like a bottle story. Like in this episode has like a bottle story, which is Gina Gershon is this soap opera actress who's being stalked. And she comes to the police for help and befriends... the cop who is Emil from RoboCop.
Yes, and this begins the continuation of the idea that these cops. So the male cops in this, we've talked about. They're not ugly people. They're perfectly fine human beings, but they're not like Channing Tatum.
No,
and yet every woman acts like they are. Mm-hmm. Like the schmuck who shot the person is like this fuck meat to this woman throughout.
Oh yeah,
this plot where she's like, "Listen, I'll call on you when I need some dick," and it's just like Jesus Christ.
Like everybody in Los Angeles wants to fuck LaRusso, who is the crooked cop, and it's funny. He's such a
because again
he's not an ugly dude, but he's such a ham hock, and he's like he's such a shitty guy that it's like you do not quite have the looks to pull that off. Like
that's what it is.
People will just excuse how shitty you are.
They keep acting like he's a bad boy, but look at him, and it's like he's like. He's not a bad-looking guy, but for the amount of baggage he brings,
it's
not worth it.
No,
it's really funny. Again, it's the whole. I was watching this with Hannah, and she pointed out that in the '90s, cops used to be fetishes. Like male strippers would be cops, and so she was saying like maybe that's part of it, which is that it's the occupation that like is so hot to women.
He says as much.
Era.
LaRusso says as much to the lawyer who in the previous episode, they started up a relationship, kind of, sort of. He's like her booty call, basically. And he's not used to that power dynamic. I lost what I was saying. Oh yeah, but he says that to her. He's like, "Oh, I see. You just collect different dudes. And I'm your cop."
He's part of her stable.
Yeah.
And so Gina Gershon with this cop
with Emil from RoboCop
is just splooging all over this guy
with Rocket Romano from ER.
Yeah. And so there's the subplot is basically they go on a date and he's like, I know it's your birthday coming up, because they went and talked to the stalker who has, a wall covered in pictures of her. Mm-hmm. Nothing wrong with having a wall covered in pictures of an actor, in my opinion.
Certainly not a wall covered in 20 copies of the same picture of the actress.
Exactly.
No red flags there.
Yeah.
No cause for alarm.
No, it doesn't. No, it could be Gina Gershon. It could be a Star Trek actor. It's fine. It's normal stuff. This guy is doing
normal fan behavior.
Yeah, and so he tells him to cut the shit, and the guy is clearly not gonna cut the shit. No, and he's like, all right, later. Yeah, it's like, oh no. And so I guess we'll just go through each of the plot lines, I guess.
Yeah.
And he is dating Gina Gershon. He's like, I should come home to your house. The stalker told me it's your birthday coming up. I know he's going to do something. So they set a trap, and the stalker gets a bouquet of flowers, breaks her window.
Yeah, whips his bouquet out of his refrigerator. And I know that's where you keep certain bouquets, but for whatever reason, I guess just the situation, because it's in the middle of, this is one of the musical numbers, the stalker sings about how much he loves Gina Gershon, but that love needs to be returned or else. So he's in the middle of singing this creepy song in his creepy ass apartment, and then he cracks open his tiny refrigerator to whip out this bouquet. It was extremely funny to me. I don't know.
It's very jarring. Yeah.
It was just like he's whipping out a prom corsage.
Yeah. It's like bouquet in the fridge today, fingers in the fridge tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
Here we go.
Gotta make room for the fingers and hair.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. So he breaks in, and of course it's a trap, and the cop is just like, stop right there. And he's about to bust him, and Gina Gershon comes downstairs and just shoots him dead. Uh-huh. And good for her.
Honestly,
what they set up is she first goes to the cops, and she's like, I'd like you to do something about this guy. And they're like, we can't do anything unless he does something first. Basically, we can't arrest this guy unless he kills you, which is a very real thing.
Yeah.
Cops...
I will say that I think anti-stalking laws have become a little better since 1990. Yes. Because I think this is probably partially based on that famous case of the actress who, blanking on her name, and I'm sorry, but she was on that TV show, My Sister Sam. And sure. She got a stalker that basically the same thing where Gina Gershon tells a very similar story where she wasn't used to getting fan mail. So she responded to this guy and he took that the wrong way. And would just show up at the studio where she was filming and eventually just showed up at her apartment and shot her. And stalking laws sort of, began to be readdressed, I guess, around that and similar issues.
They technically didn't do anything wrong.
Right. But it's I feel like there's a little more that can be done here.
And so, she basically says, if you had arrested him, he would have gone to jail for a couple of years, and then in a few years, I'd be dealing with it. So I shot the guy in my house, and she gets away with it because it's her house.
He broke in. Yeah, it was Emil from RoboCop is pissed, because he feels like he's been used, and he probably was.
And he sings a song about it.
And he sings a real...
About how he was nothing more than fuck meat to this lady. Yep. Well, no, that is key, is after she shoots him and it's all settled, she's like, so you want to go out again? Because she is DTF for these cops.
Yeah, she's really into him.
The ladies fucking love these cops, and they're thick hogs or whatever.
Yeah. He sings a very uncomfortably wide-mouthed song about being played like a saxophone. He's got a decent voice, though. It's it's one of those. This show's really good at this, and like Stephen Bochco shows are good at this in general. And this is like another thing like The Wire, where there isn't really a black and white resolution to it, because it's like, well, yeah, I get why he's pissed, because yeah, she did kind of use him, and then
as he puts it, you murdered a man and you did it behind my badge.
Exactly,
but what he says.
The flip side is, well, yeah, of course, like this guy's stalking her and he broke in, yeah, fucking shoot him. Like,
well, if you if you notice, the theme of this episode is about injustice in the system and how, in order to get anything done, you have to have connections.
Yeah.
It's all about people using their connections. Because this woman uses this cop. Our Bubbles uses her connections with the cops in a good way to get her baby back.
Yeah.
And, of course, there's the plot of the aide who's using her connections in a not so good way. And it's all about how, like, that even a cop points it out later, is like being white is a big part of it. It helps. Like that this system is not equal for everybody. Mm-hmm. It's better for people who have some way to manipulate cops. And so that's what we're seeing, is Gina Gershon is like, I couldn't get this done otherwise, you know?
Yeah.
She had to do what she had to do.
It's so funny that like both this one and the next one, the second episode that we watched, is a lot about homelessness and how the police deal with homelessness by not dealing with it, by just kind of shuffling people around. And these episodes are like so critical of the systemic issues in not just the police force, but like all the way up to the top, which is very much like The Wire. And it's in this goofy ass show where people are singing Randy Newman songs about being played like a saxophone.
There's a lot. That homeless one, I want to talk about Ronnie Cox romanticizing being out on the range, which, if you notice, is like being homeless.
Yeah.
Like there's so much. There's layers to this.
There is.
Layers.
This is a good show, guys.
Someone thought about this.
Yes. A lot of people thought about this.
Yeah.
And then, of course, the show also has insane moments that we will go to.
Yeah, we'll get to.
Like Ronnie Cox's reaction to the revelation that the mayor has never had sex is
it's amazing.
Breathtaking.
Oh, okay. We'll get to it. Right now, we finished Gina Gershon. Then there's the aide of the city councilman, and she just keeps... She gets busted, and then she just gets busted. She gets off because she has connections.
Yeah,
Then she gets busted again.
Yeah.
She rocks, by the way. I love her. She bought coke. She got busted buying cocaine, and then went to the exact same spot
the next day to buy more cocaine. And then, of course, we find out she's actually buying the coke for her, for the city councilman who.
So what that means, she's quiet quitting, Tom, because basically this councilman's like, get me more cocaine, and she's like, all right, fucker, I'm just gonna go back to the same place. I'm gonna go get arrested again.
And then when she gets arrested,
she gets arrested, and she's like, how about I roll on my boss?
Yep.
And they're like, oh great. She's like, I'm not getting paid enough for this. I will roll on my boss because I'm not.
The captain all but gets dollar signs in his eyes when she says that.
Also, she's doing the cocaine herself. That should be noted too. Is that she's not doing cocaine. She's just also buying it for her boss.
Yeah, she's when you go out, when you make a coke run, you buy a little bit for everyone. That's just manners.
Exactly.
That's just good manners.
Yeah, and the captain. There's this whole thing where like this councilman or whoever is gonna vote on giving them lots of money, so like it's in their best interest not to do anything, and they briefly yell at the captain, and then the chief is like, yeah, you did the right thing, it's fine, and they arrest him taking a cocaine bath.
Yeah,
he's kind of a winner too. Like I was rooting for him in this.
Honestly, you come in, he's like harumphing into his bathrobe in his splish splash little bathtub full of coke,
doing cocaine with his aide next to him, just like giving him cocaine.
Yeah, just pouring it in there,
butler,
like bath salts.
Yeah, it was amazing.
Like a bath bomb. It's just a brick of coke.
Yeah.
I like to let the cocaine exfoliate my pores.
Yeah. So that's that plot.
Yeah.
And And that's about how like this person got many chances. Their connections ultimately they were like, nah, fuck you. And then there's our Bubbles, the baby seller.
Yeah.
And it's about her. The captain is like, so my wife. I talked to my wife about it, and she agreed that maybe we should give this lady a second chance to get her baby back. So they do a recommendation for her to go to a judge and go to rehab instead of jail and work to get her baby back. And she's on trial, making an appeal to this judge. And it works out.
Yeah.
She gets her baby back. And she gets put... it's Bubbles. Like, we're rooting for her, right?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, and she's the end product of the... Like, she's like Bubbles. It's like the reminder of why the cops do this, you know?
Yeah.
That's the idea, at least.
Yeah.
It's for all the Bubbles of the world.
Yeah, for the Bubbles of the world. And, the reminder that, I don't know, breaking the law doesn't make you an evil, worthless person. It's this,
right.
It's humanizing.
Even selling your baby.
It humanizes.
They humanize the baby
she
seller.
Literally sells her baby at the end of the first episode. Funny. It is wild. Because
in the court, she's like, I want to be a good mother and stuff. And they keep being like, but you sold your baby.
Yeah. That's
it's like, yes, that's true. I did that. I own that.
The prosecutor points out, it's like, no, we have to, like, he's like, this isn't just a regular case. It's like the person you're asking me to give a break to is like about to be charged with slavery.
Yeah. It's
like, holy shit, it's a pretty serious situation.
Yeah. But
and then
she
they're
makes a
singing
good appeal.
about it. What a fucking show, Dave.
Of course they are. Yeah, there's songs throughout all these plot lines we're pointing out. Mm-hmm. And then the final plot line, of course, is the guy being part of the stable of slimeball fuck boys.
Yeah.
Because he meets one of them, and he's also a slimeball.
Yeah.
So this lady is just fucking loving the
slime balls. Yeah, she's got a real scumbag menagerie.
Yeah. And that's episode 1.
Yeah.
Or, sorry, episode 5.
Episode 5.
Let's talk about episode
Mutiny.
6.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which, what?
Oil of Olay.
Oh, yeah, I don't get that one.
I don't know. But it starts with the cops forcing homeless people to move along, which I understand because the Terminator will get them if they don't move along, because they are under that bridge. It's weird. There are 2 film location cameos almost back to back in this. So it starts, Terminator, beginning of Terminator. There's even like semi trucks down there. Mm-hmm. And David Paymer is in there. And it was like, are you trying to hide David Paymer from me? Because they don't point it out.
It's 1990. I don't think anybody knew who he was yet.
I guess. He had done No Holds Barred. So
that's
he should
true.
Be the most
he should
famous
be the
person.
most famous man on the planet.
Yeah. And there's homeless children. They sing a song about it. It's real gritty, and it's really weird to go from this to Randy Newman singing.
Yeah,
it's really
with the whole cast
unsettling.
Gathered in the recording studio watching.
Yeah,
every time it's incredibly jarring because the cold opens to Cop Rock so far. Every episode we've watched tends to be pretty serious.
Yes,
and then it goes right into Randy Newman like with all the cast and crew
so
just like smiling and clapping as he's tickling the ivories.
So inappropriate every time. It's jarring.
What a show.
Yeah. So the David Paymer plot is that they keep moving these homeless camps, and there's the good cop and bad cop, like, or a grumpy cop that we've established.
Gaines and Frank.
Right.
Yeah.
And so the good cop is all like, we should do something for the homeless. And he's not wrong, but what this episode is pointing out is that as the chief, or not the chief, the what's his name?
The
captain points out, he's just like, listen, until the politicians actually do something, all we can do is keep moving them around so it looks like we're doing something.
It's very cynical. Real cynical. Yeah,
but it's not entirely wrong, and in fact, still an issue.
Yeah.
And so like.
Yeah.
And so this one cop is like, no, I'm gonna help him out. And the other cop is talking about pulling yourself up by your bootstraps, which is, again, still relevant.
Yep.
And he
32
he
years
focuses,
later.
Yep. He hones in on David Paymer, and he's like, "You want to go get something to eat?" And he sits him down and he explains, "You simply have to get a job." And then it becomes very clear that David Paymer has a mental illness.
Yeah.
There's something, he can't just get a job.
No.
And it's explaining in a nutshell, like, this is the issue, is that these homeless people, they can't pull themselves up by their bootstraps, that they need help, but they can't, one individual can't just, like, help them, can't just, like, grab them off the street and be like, "Oh, let's get you a job, let's get you cleaned up," because these people need psychological help. We need a better healthcare system in this country.
In many cases.
In many cases, yeah. And that's what they're going with, is the idea that it's like, these aren't bad people. This isn't a moral failing. This is just the system isn't designed to help them. That's more or less what Cop Rock is saying in this episode.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And even
wild.
Even before that, like, Gaines is basically points out, like, it's really only like one or two events, one or two seriously tragic, unfortunate events that separates any one of us, basically, he's saying to his partner, from living on the street. And that's absolutely true. And it's like a weird, I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
We're
all mathematically closer to being homeless than being a millionaire.
Yep.
That's just how it is. Yeah. And this is Cop Rock pointing this all out.
This is
David Paymer.
Cop Rock.
I could watch for hours David Paymer nervously eating lunch. Because the idea is like he's just has some sort of nervous, I don't know, they don't specify.
No,
but he's just obsessed with what he's going to get on the menu, basically, and he's so distracted by that.
Yeah, it's like he's not really living in reality. Like, he's not, you know, he's mentally ill. Yeah.
David Paymer's doing a good job with the role.
Yeah.
We'll never see him again. I checked. He's only in one episode.
Blast.
Yeah. Yeah. I wanted more Paymer. That's one of the plots. The other one is the murderer cop goes to Nakatomi Tower.
He sure does. And this is, I think, my favorite moment.
Oh, yeah.
And they're basically, the lawyer he's working with, LaRusso, the crooked cop, scumbag cop, is working with a lawyer who has hired basically a team of people to image consultants. Basically, they're gonna help him with his image to make him look like an American hero cop who he's hard, but he has to be hard because the streets are hard. So he goes to a meeting in Nakatomi Tower with this team of people who do a very elaborate song and dance number to explain how they're gonna revive his image, and because of the show and the general rules of musicals where nobody can behave like it's strange that there's a musical number going on, but also you can't really appreciate the musical number. You mean, like, you can't like clap and you can't like look like you're engaged. So basically it's this room full of people dancing on the table, wailing on guitars, singing into his face, and LaRusso just has to sit there with his arms folded, looking as sourpussed as possible, and it is the funniest 3 minutes of television.
Oh, this is the no problem. Yeah, this is actually later. It's a later meeting.
Oh, okay.
But what I love about that one is that because of the nature of the song, they end up having a picture of Reagan on the wall next to a picture of Gandhi.
And Ollie North.
And Ollie North, yeah. Which is very, again, it's supposed to be funny, like that imagery.
Yeah.
It's great.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think the Nakatomi Tower is when they do the cross-examination, and he just can't handle it.
Yeah, he gets very lightly pressed by CCH Pounder, and he fucking loses his shit.
Yeah. This arc. So yeah, first of all, CCH Pounder. Of course she's in this. This arc is going to be real dark. This is The Boys before The Boys. Yeah. This is the same message, which is that this cop who shot he murdered a guy, black man in custody.
Yeah.
is being put on trial, and he, in the cross-examination, he basically gives a "you need me" rant. He gives a "you can't handle the truth" rant.
Yeah.
And they're like, well, you blew the cross-examination, but now we have a new plan. Is you can be a hero, and it's about rehabilitating his image as like a hero cop. That's like, I'm doing the stuff that no one wants to do.
Mm-hmm.
And then at the end, he goes on a radio show that is for some reason really dark and blue. And the people who call in, someone first calls in and says like, so weird, you guys only shoot black men. Very much pointing out a relevant thing today. And then the second guy who calls in is like, I'm on the cop side, and then turns out to be a real racist.
Yeah,
going
real
against the
serious
Jews,
racist. Yeah.
dropping that N-word. And so the cop is insisting like, I'm not like you, buddy. But what they're very much pointing out is that he is now on that side. That is the side, because he is guilty.
Yeah.
And he doesn't want to go to jail. So in his mind, he's like, I'll make this a campaign. But what he's really doing is he's going to gather all the racists.
Yeah.
And all the bigots.
I think it's important to point out that LaRusso himself believes that
he believes he's not racist.
Well, he believes he did the correct thing. Like, he was like, oh, this guy was a scumbag. If we arrested him, he was just going to be out on the street again, so I killed him.
Right. So it's that idea of like, it's just really, it's amazing to watch this idea that something that's so relevant in this country.
Yeah.
Which is the idea that people believing like, I did the right thing, and then a bunch of racists are like, yeah, we're on your side. And the person not registering what that means. If a bunch of racists are also on your side,
it's the wrong side.
It's the wrong side. And that's what this, and for this guy, he's stuck.
Yeah.
That's what I really like, is that his literal freedom's on the line. So he's not going to have a moment of self-awareness. He's going to ride this fucking racist train all the way to hell. And you can see it coming. So like, again, it's Homelander being like, why don't people love me? And then the people who love him finally are terrible.
Yeah.
And he doesn't care. So this is fucking cop rock. Jesus Christ.
And it's both. I mean, obviously it's prescient because these things are extremely in the mainstream now, but it's also not prescient. It's just depressingly, these issues, we're still dealing with the same shit 3 decades later.
Yeah. So that homelessness, racism, and backing the cops, and then we have 2 more plot lines. We have the 2 partners, with the one who she's married to the
coroner. Yeah, I think Vicky is her name, and her partner is Andy, and she just gets straight up shot by this guy.
Shot by what I would argue is the most relatable criminal in the entire thing.
Yes.
He's arguing about his insurance and whips out a gun. And I was just like, yeah, I understand this man.
He's been given the runaround time and time again about getting his insurance that he's owed. And he's talking about, I keep having to take the bus from, I think he says Fresno.
Right.
And I'm doing it over and over again. I'm sick of doing it. This is going to get resolved today. And he pulls out... It's not just a gun. It's like a Luger. Like, he pulls out like an 80-year-old handgun.
Yeah. No, this man didn't have a plan. So he went in his attic from like the war.
Yeah.
Again, the closest I've ever been, and I would say I'm speaking for everybody, closest I've ever been to domestic terrorism is being on the phone with the DMV, the IRS, any government system or insurance. And so it's just a man who's clearly like, the journey he was on.
Yeah.
And he's just like, fuck, I'm going to take out this gun. And he accidentally shoots the cop in the leg.
Mm-hmm.
And she's in the hospital. And the husband, of course, he's concerned. But what he realizes through song, I believe,
he does,
is the partner absolutely has the hots for her.
It's kind of a banger, too.
The song, You're Not My Partner one.
Yeah. It's a pretty sweet song.
I do want to talk about that song because there's something very funny about that song. But and so the coroner becomes jealous, and there's a whole plot where he tries to get them not to be partners anymore, but he has no reason to be.
He breaks into her locker at work.
And he breaks into her locker out of jealousy, which they've set this up because they had the song about how he's like a chud and she's not, where he's like, what did I do to deserve this beautiful lady? Mm-hmm. And
yeah, he's also, just visibly, he's like 20 years older than her.
Yeah,
so it's like
and he had like the heart problems. Mm-hmm. He feels he's very insecure.
Yeah. And they've established that. But yeah, like when he was breaking into her locker, I was like, Ralph, no, because I like Ralph.
Yeah, yeah. Well, he still hasn't done anything terrible.
No, but
it does feel like he's gonna.
Yeah, you're just like, no, Ralph, talk to your wife. Don't break into her locker.
But he's a sympathetic. That's what I love this character because he starts as such a schlub, and then it's all about like his insecurities. Mm-hmm. And that's something you don't see they explore in men. Like, he's an older man who feels like he's undeserving of this woman, and yeah, she's a little young for him for sure. But they're pointing it all out, like that he just doesn't think of himself as a very attractive guy, and he's bummed about it, and he's really insecure. And there's this young hotshot cop she's a partner with. Yeah,
and he fucking sucks. Like he will not drop it. He is trying to fuck every time they have a conversation.
Oh, yeah, he's just like a horny dog every time.
Like, I think it's in this episode. He's like, so why can't we go get dinner? And it's like, because I'm fucking married, you idiot.
Married woman.
What do you mean? Why can't we go get dinner?
So all her husband has to do is, like you said, talk to her. But yeah, they're setting up a whole B plot that's very interesting. Again, it's very much like The Wire, where they have those romantic B plots in The Wire as well. It's great.
Yeah, fucking cop rock.
Yep. And then speaking of romantic B plots, we have Ronnie in love.
Yep, Ronnie Cox is now in love with the mayor.
Or as he puts it, this woman has gotten into my britches because he's still a cowboy. He wants to take her on a cowboy date.
I like how gradually more cowboy he's become as these episodes have unfolded. Like, before he just had like a fucking psychopath shooting gallery in his office, but now he's got a drawl. He like has all this cowboy slang that started creeping into his dialogue. Incredible character, Ronnie Cox.
Oh yeah, let me tell you, Tom, I would give anything to go on a cowboy vacation with Ronnie Cox.
Yep.
Because he takes her on a police chopper out to go camping, and he's playing guitar for her by a campfire, and he's dressed like a cowboy. And again, as pointed out, he says like, this is what I love, just being out with a fire, my gun, my gal. And he's romanticizing basically living homeless, like living out of a tent on the street.
Yeah.
And I think that's on purpose. And then she's like, are we going to fuck or what, basically? She says, I want to sleep in your sleeping bag with you in it. And he's like, oh, yeah. I mean, yeah.
She does
That's
have to.
why we're here.
She does have to be that specific.
Yeah. And then
she's like, I want to sleep in your sleeping bag. And he's like, oh, that's fine. We can trade.
Yeah. Yeah. Ronnie is not getting it.
Yeah.
And then she finally admits that she's a virgin. And he says, I wrote it down.
It's his response. Like, I stood up and was like, I was saying aloud to my television, that's weird, man. That's a weird reaction to this.
I was watching with Hannah, and the reaction in the room was like, oh.
This is a weird reaction.
He says, quote, you're a virgin? I'm the luckiest man alive. And it was like, oh,
keep going. Did you write it all down?
That's all I had.
Oh, because
what else did he say?
He says, just to discover that you've been saving yourself for me.
What? He wants to deflower her.
What?
They're both like 45. They might be in their 50s. And it's just weird. And I mean, nothing wrong with being a virgin at that age. It's just like, They're just.
You would think though, because
she's real creepy.
Yeah, she's like.
It's the excitement of it all. It's like, I got a virgin.
It's like it's like, man, it's the reaction to have. It's like, because it's like, you've clearly had, you've had trouble with intimacy, or you've never been, there's a million different compassionate ways you can address her sharing that very private piece of information with you, and this is not on the list.
Yeah, he's like, yeehaw! Yeah. I got me a virgin.
Ronnie Cox, they continue to find ways to make his character just the craziest motherfucker in Los Angeles.
So unhinged.
He is deranged.
Yeah. So that's Ronnie Cox.
Oh,
his subplot is he deflowers the mayor. Mm-hmm. And I guess we can talk about the songs now, right?
I think so. Yeah, that's pretty much. Yeah, that's pretty much all the plot lines. Yeah.
Yeah. Like I said, episode 1, it takes a while. So there's "Don't Mess With My Pursuit of Happiness," which is the cocaine buying song, which is just the cops fingerprinting these people in the parking lot, and they're all singing about how like they love cocaine. Yeah. Then like literally a half hour passes.
It's a while. Yeah.
And we get campaign song.
I do want to say real quick though, the "Don't Mess With My Pursuit of Happiness" is like, it's calling out like the criminalization of drug use. Like,
oh yeah. But it's from the point of view of rich white people.
From the point of view of rich white people who are like, yeah,
we are not criminals.
Yeah.
We're respectable people.
Right. Like the one guy's like, oh, it's not like I'm out here doing crack, even though that's like a type of cocaine, you fucking asshole.
Again, they're pointing out the hypocrisy of the crack versus cocaine. Mm-hmm. It's cop rock.
Yeah, fucking cop rock. Incredible show. Flawless show, Dave. All right, sorry.
Sorry, campaign song is barely a song. This is where I was like, you guys didn't have a song here. The politician is singing for money, and then they cut off the song like 30 seconds in. Mm-hmm. They just cut to another scene. It counts as a song, but
it's also the only one that seems like diegetic.
Yeah,
like it seems like he actually is like singing a song on stage, and as opposed to like how it in musicals where it's like, I don't know. You guys know what I'm trying to say.
It's the worst song of the series, I think.
It's pretty bad.
Next is "My Dream Is Now a Step Away," the Stalker song. It's like a sexy saxophone song. As he puts on his maniac tie and gets his fucking flowers
in his maniac apartment, gets his maniac bouquet out of his maniac refrigerator.
Yeah. It's a weird choice for a song.
No, I think it was. It is, but I think it also kind of works because it's like.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's fucked up.
Yeah. But it is. Yeah. It will never. Every musical number will never not be jarring in this show.
Yeah. Oh yeah. The next one is "Beautiful Lies." This is the "I Got Played" by
this is Emil's song. His wide mouth song of betrayal.
She fanned the flame. She fanned the fire, and I felt the heat. Mm-hmm. He later says, "She has skin like satin and a heart like stone. She played me sweeter than a saxophone." Mm-hmm. Cue the sexy sax.
Yeah.
This was my favorite of the episode.
This one rocks. Yeah, I love this song.
And then the last one is "I'm Sorry I Sold You." Nothing matters but love.
Yeah.
Bubbles, her apology song for selling her baby.
Yeah.
To her baby.
Yeah, she sings to the baby.
Real rock bottom stuff.
Well, it's not quite rock. It's hopeful. Like it's like It's like not necessarily a response to, but like an evolution of the song she sings at the end of the first episode, which is like the most tragic fucking song. And this one is like, different. She's better now. She's, I've got my baby back. I've got, I'm going to do right by you now.
I would say of this batch, we'll have to have an ultimate, but "Beautiful Lies" is probably the best song.
I think so, yeah.
Of the first episode. Episode 2 has "Nowhere to Go." That is the homeless people moving along.
Yep.
With David Paymer. "Nowhere to go, nothing to do. Holes in my pockets, holes in my shoes."
David Paymer does not sing in this song, though.
He's credited though.
Is he? Maybe he's in the chorus. Yeah, it's like there's like 3 featured singers and he's not one of them. But
right.
Anyway,
it's not a bad song. It's
fine.
Not great either.
It's fine.
Yeah.
It was a lot like the "Don't Mess With My Pursuit of Happiness," where it's like, yeah, this is fine. This is a serviceable song.
They always have the "We're Getting Arrested" song. Have you noticed that?
There's like a montage song. Yeah.
Yeah. Next is "You're My Partner." That's the "I'm Sorry You Got Shot."
That's Andy singing to Vicky, I think.
Yeah, what's funny about this one that made me laugh so hard is the song is performed with a montage of them as partners, and it reminded me of how in the Clerks cartoon they do a clip show in episode 2.
Yeah.
Because it's a montage of the last 5 episodes.
Yes.
Like it's just like, oh, the series just began. And like this isn't like season 6 where we're really looking back. It's like, remember a few weeks ago how we were partners? And it's like, yeah, I remember.
Yep. All those adventures we've gone on.
Yeah. Next is what I would argue is the best song of this episode, which is That's How to Love a Woman.
Oh, when Vondi Curtis Hall gets... Yes!
So what happens is Ronnie's in love, and what's his position? Is he just like...
I'm not
second in command?
He's like his
Kif.
Basically, yeah. I'm not sure what they call him Ozzy. His name's Osborne, but I'm not sure what his actual like rank or job is. He's like his assistant, aide, confidant, his advisor. That's what I was thinking.
Advisor, yeah. And he's just singing a song about how to fuck a lady properly.
But he presses the button.
Did you flag this too?
Okay, so he presses the button on Ronnie Cox's desk, and Ronnie Cox's just insane shooting gallery door slides open, but instead of like one of his weird Western dummies that he shoots with live bullets in his office in previous episodes, like 3 backup singers slide in.
Yeah, slide in. It just felt a little racist.
So for half a second, I thought... Does he want Ronnie Cox to shoot these guys?
Right, because the backup singers are all black men.
Yeah.
And so it's just, he opens this button and 3 suited black men appear, and it's just like, oh God, where is this going? Because, they are on his firing range where the dummies are.
Yeah. But no, they're just coming out to back up Vondi Curtis Hall as he sings. Sings about how to love a woman,
Yeah, and it's a great song.
And
Ronnie
sweet.
Cox just has to sit there and enjoy it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Much like you were talking about with the other song, he just sits there and watches.
He just has to sit there and watch it impassively. Although Ronnie Cox...
This guy sings about how to fucking finger pound a lady or whatever.
Ronnie Cox is more engaged because it's like his friend is kind of giving him love tips, so he's like kind of acting in that way. But as opposed to like when LaRusso is getting sung to by the image handlers, he's just like a stone. Just sitting there frowning at them.
Which is the next song, No Problem.
Yeah.
Which is, they say you're going to be bigger than Oliver North. And that's why Oliver North and Reagan show up. And then they say you're going to be bigger than Gandhi. And so Gandhi, it's weird energy for this song.
It's being bigger than...
jamming on the guitar.
If I was on trial... and the image consultants came in, and the first thing they sang to me was, "We're going to be bigger than Oliver North." I'd be like, "Okay, we're done."
Yeah, I would like new lawyers, please.
Yeah,
I don't know if you've Googled Oliver North lately.
Did you stop reading about the Iran-Contra scandal?
But again, that's the joke. That's the gag.
Yeah,
is they're comparing Oliver North to Gandhi. It's all the same to them.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
And so like. The point of the song is, And then the last song is, What Am I Doing Here? Which is, I'm breaking into my wife's locker. What am I doing here? He's singing about, it's a short song. Yeah. It's not great. It's not a great song.
I think this is the one that I thought. This is the one that I thought
it has
was
a lot
kind
of meaning, but it's very short.
It is, but man, the drums,
it's all right.
the fucking beat in the chorus is like really killer. Like I was
really?
jamming. I was kind of jamming out to this song. Yeah,
I'll give this another listen.
I like all of Ralph's songs.
Yeah, he's great.
Yeah.
Which of these 2 episodes, which do you like the most?
I think my favorite one might be Beautiful Lies, but the Vondi Curtis Hall song is up there.
Yeah, I get why Beautiful Lies. It's neck and neck between the 2. I'm going to take That's How to Love a Woman just because I think that's more fun. I'm having more fun with that song.
Oh man. What a when just his backup singers come out of the shooting range.
Yeah. We're going to have to... I haven't been writing it down, but we're going to have to go through all the songs at some point.
Yeah, obviously, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's... And we'll have to pick the ultimate cop rock song. So, we've been tasked with the question, does this show know that cops suck? It still very much does. Although I will say there is a tinge of 90s, I would say, in the... I'm not racist stuff that the murderer cop, like, I know the idea is, like you said, he truly believes what he's doing is right.
He doesn't think he is, but he is, I think is what that's kind of how I took it. Like, I didn't take it necessarily.
I think what's interesting. Okay. Oh no, I just think what's interesting is that they're not coming down hard on him. They're trying to make him kind of a sympathetic character. Like, he says stuff it's funny. Like, they're making him seem like we want to like him.
Well,
in some parts.
I think it's less that, and it's more toward serving the idea of making him three-dimensional.
No, I agree that's I think what they're ultimately trying to do. Mm-hmm. But it's very interesting. It's like the stuff where they do the cross-examination. They're like, they're going to be made to feel impotent and useless or abused, and he's like, oh, I mean, your associate has been doing a good job training me of that. Talking about the lady who is treating him as fuck meat. So, like, they give him little jabs where it's like, oh, he's funny, he's likable, and that's weird.
Yeah, I think I
think it's right on the edge.
Yeah, maybe. I think kind of what they're getting at is like the company he's finding himself with now, like these sort of odious suits, and then like the super racist guy, but he's like resisting the epiphany. Like, the epiphany is supposed to be, oh, if these are the people that are like coming to my side, I'm wrong. But he's like he's resisting that epiphany.
Yeah, and I think he shouldn't ever have it, to be honest.
No, he shouldn't,
because of who he is.
Right, and we've seen how he is with like his girl. He's a piece of shit, like, through and through. Like, he is a bad guy. He's like Vic Mackey. There's nothing redeemable about him.
Right. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see, in the many seasons to come of this show. What they do with
the 13 seasons and the 2 feature films of cop rock that we got.
Yeah, exactly. God, they should get a movie going.
Do it. Do a movie.
Do a cop rock movie.
Cowards. You'll have to recast everybody, but that's fine.
Is Ronnie Cox dead?
No, but I mean, it's 32 years ago. So
it's like Deadwood. You do it where it takes place now.
Sure, you could do that.
All the same problems are there, so
that's true.
You just keep them all. Yeah, you can just bring them all back. Because we want the cast. Like, I don't care how they would do it. I want the original cast.
That's true. That's fair.
Yeah. Cop rock. Is that it?
I think it is, Dave. I think we've done our duty.
I think we did our duty all over the place by examining these cop rock episodes for Matt Smith. This has been a delight. We got more episodes coming. Oh my goodness, boy, do we have more episodes coming?
So many more episodes. 3 to be exact.
Yeah. Thank you, Matt Smith.
Thank you.
If people are interested, this is through our Patreon, patreon.com/gamefullyunemployed. We have tiers where you can have your own custom podcasts made. And also we have exclusive podcasts. For just $5 a month, you get access to Tom and Jeff Watch Batman, Fox Mulder is a Maniac, Star Trek The Next Futurama, and Spiel Boys. Those are all on there. There's a bunch of stuff on there, so go check it out.
Yeah. While you're at it, head over to gamefullyunemployed.com, where you can find a link to our Teespring store, where we have all kinds of cool original artwork and designs you can get on t-shirts, mugs, stickers, posters, all sorts of stuff. So check that out.
Yeah. Bada bing. As the cops say, bada bing.
We need an entire movie just about Ronnie Cox's character, I think.
Absolutely. If you're Ronnie Cox listening to this, name your price.
Yeah.
I want to go camping with you.
We will add that tier to our Patreon.
Yeah. I'll let you deflower me, Ronnie Cox.
I've been saving myself for you. You cowboy maniac.
Yeah, you stallion. Oh, no.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.